Wander Over Yonder, Season 2. It's over. Disney canceled it because we got an explicit reason of why, and it's stupid. And that is that Wander always did better on reruns than on new episodes. So they're just going to milk it for reruns and not bother funding new episodes.
Yep. Which
is stupid, extremely mercenary, and I've never heard of that being the case for any other show where it's like, I can't imagine this show takes like a disproportionate amount of money to produce. It's done in Flash, Toon Boom, but like Flash derivative.
I don't know.
It's not HBO's Roam, which they did cancel because it was too expensive.
Dang, for HBO? Must have been hella expensive. But I don't know. I just feel like, you know, in the information pop culture era we're living in, I feel like we're getting more and more news from every single place. Like I'm sure this has happened before, but we would never know about it because who the hell is going to report on a random kids cartoon in like 2009? Like who's going to do that?
That's true, yeah.
We are lucky to have access to that information straight from the horse's mouth, you know? That's a new thing.
It's very true. But yeah, I mean, McCracken, of course, wanted to continue producing the show, but Disney was like, nah, we don't want any more episodes. That's fine. Which, you sort of think about it like, essentially when you sell a show to a network, it's almost like they're commissioning you to make your idea a reality.
Yeah, it's literally what it is.
And they own your idea.
Yep.
But once they don't feel like paying you anymore, that's it.
Yep.
They're not gonna you can't make anymore.
No.
So that's how it works.
And they have it forever.
Yep.
That's the deal you make.
So
we have a total of 79 segments, 43 whole episodes.
And 11 one-minute shorts.
Oh, yeah.
For a show that, for a show that, like, seems like a concept so simple and so classic, I think that 2 seasons is an all right run.
I'd say so.
I mean, again, this is probably just for me. Like, anytime I hear about, like, a show not getting its due, I'm like, man, I've been watching cartoons since I was born. Like, get in line. Half of the shows I like didn't get their due. Like,
which isn't to diminish that the show didn't get its due, because it absolutely deserved that 3rd season. It's set up for a 3rd season. Like, I think they went into season 2 knowing it was going to be the last one. Do we know that?
I think by the time that we got that news, it had already been a thing for a while. But I don't know. I think it was almost done.
Yeah, like I do know that before McCracken said it was the studio, the team had known for a while. It was just a while before he could say it. But
right.
Yeah, so I don't know. Like they set up, you know, a cliffhanger for the 3rd. The ending works really well because it's like the first Futurama finale. You know, it's a good. If it comes to it, which it almost certainly will, it's a great place to end the series. If not, there is that seed there for another season.
Yep. Yeah, because with Wander, like, you can just keep telling these fun stories. Like, it was never that plot heavy to begin with.
No, season 1 wasn't.
No.
Season 2, I mean, McCracken said this as well, is that, networks don't want plot heavy shows. You know, they want stuff that's comedy based and episodic and really easy to market, something that works great on reruns. Yeah. You know, marketing, you know, getting something pitched that is, very, serialized is a lot harder. And what he says, you gotta bamboozle them.
Yeah.
You know, you gotta hide your hand. Like,
yeah, I mean, like with Alex Hirsch, like he said, like, that's what he pitched, but Disney didn't believe him. And that's how he got away with it.
Yeah, if they knew what they were...
They figured he'd change his mind once the show got started.
They were, perpetually hoping he would change his mind about a lot of things.
But then once the show became such a huge ratings grab, they were like, okay.
Okay, I mean, I guess it's working.
Do whatever you want. Held up are those 2 old ladies hugging. Almost anything you want.
Whereas the appeal of Wander has never... The show hasn't lived or died on its continuity the way that Gravity Falls does, because there's such different shows. Gravity Falls is a mystery. It's, you know, the elevator pitch, which is of course reductive, is Lost for kids. Lost but good and for kids. So the mystery is the whole thing. The story is the whole thing. For Wander, it really isn't, because even in this more plot-heavy episode, a lot of times, Dominator's reign of terror was just a background element to get them on a planet to look for a MacGuffin and have fun doing that.
Yeah.
That was a lot of episodes this season. And it never became tedious because each time they were doing something else.
Yeah, it was always a new planet, new stuff going on.
Yeah. But, that wasn't so the plot isn't the draw of the show like it was for Gravity Falls, or like it has become with Steven Universe, which also did not telegraph that was a show.
I remember when Cartoon Network was initially like promoting Steven and Clarence and Uncle Grandpa, which they did a lot of promotional work for. There was no indication that this was a serialized plot. It very much just seemed like, or at least Rebecca never said that out loud. Yeah, that's what she wanted to do.
I mean, most of the pitch for them, just because of how Cartoon Network works, it probably hinged on mostly on that pilot, which, and so it was probably just more like, they're the gems, and they fight gem monsters, and
they save the world, and he's like the ultimate little brother character, and they go on adventures and save the world. It's the theme song. You're like, sure, that doesn't have to have a story.
That sounds great. Here's a bag of money.
I drew a $sign on it. I had this special printed. The cost for the print's coming out of the bag. There's still a lot in the bag.
If I ever win a huge sum of money, I don't want a big novelty check. I want a big novelty bag with a $sign on it with the cash in there.
That'd be pretty rad.
Just a crumpled up check inside it.
a bunch of checks for small amounts of money that add up to the grand total.
Like, can you imagine going to the bank teller and having to cash in your
I think they give you
oversized check?
I think they give you a real check. The oversized check is for the.
I'll still do it.
But it's like, okay, they gave me 2 checks for the same amount of money. Like, I'll go to a giant bank and all I gotta do is find some giants.
They probably had to work that. They probably had that scam in Zootopia. That was something Nick probably did.
You go to the elephant bank.
Yeah, it's like, buddy, it's made out of cardboard.
Yeah, how is it going to stay together? You're the idiot. I don't know.
So, where do we want to go?
The point I was trying to get at was, McCracken said that he had to bamboozle Disney to letting him do this kind of show, and I bet they weren't pleased about it.
I guess. I don't know why they wouldn't be.
that sort of stuff.
It's fun.
It's common for cartoons, and I'm sure they didn't care. I don't think that's the thing. It wasn't. I don't think the canceling was done maliciously. It was just really cold.
No.
Calculated.
No, they were just
But Craig did the same thing with. Craig did kind of the same thing with Powerpuff Girls. He wanted to tell more varied stories, but they were like, "Oh, you pitched a little girl save the day, so they better fucking do that every episode. This isn't the show you gave us." But then he had to wait. He had to get his foot in the door.
Yeah. Everybody's got to get their feet in the door. I feel like Adventure Time isn't that, though. I feel like they grew the desire to tell more.
Oh, yeah, totally.
You watch early Steven, knowing what we know now, and it's like, oh, yeah, the groundwork was here the whole time if you knew to look for it, which nobody did.
No.
For Adventure Time, it's not. Every time they do a callback to season 1 or 2, it's retconning.
Yeah.
They had no grand scheme. Well, they had, a bit. I feel like the general idea of, as an apocalyptic wasteland.
Yeah. That was there. That's in the opening credits.
But that was just literally just set dressing.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's.
They would say, I listened to the commentary of some of the DVDs, and they would go, and a lot of them said oh yeah, sometimes we would come up with jokes, content, punchlines that sound like continuity, and then later on in a later season we'll be like, hey, remember that one joke? Let's just make that canon. So that's half of the evolution of Adventure Time, and I love that.
Here's a perfect example that came to my mind. In the episode where they're looking for the stolen apples, Jake was like, yeah, I used to steal stuff all the time. I didn't know it was wrong. And then later we got the season where he gets his old gang back together, and we find out that's how he knew Tiffany, that they were heistmen together. Whereas, you could tell that McCracken always had desire to do this, and he always had a central thesis to the show. And what that thesis is, which I think is what we should bring up next to kind of center the rest of the discussion, is that the most powerful force is that of positivity and hope and a desire to increase the sum total of joy in the world.
Yeah.
Because
Mm-hmm.
That's what Wander does. He goes around helping people because it's in his nature, obviously, but like he wants, by spreading smiles or whatever saccharine way whatever goofy ass way he put it. And I say saccharine, I'm not trying to diminish anything, but,
he's a little goof, and I love him.
He's a goof 'em up.
Such a goofy boy.
He's a
Give
goof
him
'em
a
goob.
hug.
Yeah, and he wants to give you a hug.
Yeah.
That's the great thing.
That'd be great.
Like, you give him a hug and he'll be like, oh boy!
And that's sort of the way they played out with him versus Dominator, is that he was never trying to destroy Dominator, because he doesn't see that as a solution.
It's the same with Hater. Like, he doesn't want to destroy Hater. He honestly believes that Hater can be a good person.
He wants to find the good that he believes exists in everyone and bring that to the forefront for the sake of improving everyone's lives. And with Hater, the implication, which has been slow building but like never got full closure because, they still want to do a third season, is that he is softening up. He is, dropping this facade of being like this big tough badass.
Yeah, because his whole character is he's basically a teenager who thinks he's super cool and isn't like that self-aware enough.
Yeah.
And Wanda's like, nah, you're just a good boy. And
yeah. And he tries the same thing with Dominator. Like, in the finale, everyone else is like, right, grab your pitchforks, we're going after her. And what it reminded me of was, Last Airbender.
Yeah,
totally. Everybody's telling Aang, dude, you have to kill him. You have to chop off his head and get...
Even Zuko is like, Aang, you gotta murder my dad in front of me.
I mean, for several reasons. Mostly your thing, but like,
come on, do me this solid.
Yeah, and Aang's like, there's gotta be another... This isn't balanced. This isn't what I'm supposed to do.
Yeah, just destroying evil isn't...
Yeah.
Right.
What do you think I am, Star Wars? Fuck you.
And Star Wars, things are always imbalanced, so there you go. But yeah, we wonder, like, he honestly believed, because he feels this way for everybody, that Dominator could have a change of heart. That there has to be some reason why she's such a meanie. And that she can change. Wander believes people can change, and everyone's good at heart, and it can be brought out. And sort of the lesson for him, which is something that I guess he never really encountered before for however long he's been in existence, is that some people just don't have that. Because, like, even Hater, as mean as he does have points where he will be soft. And Wander can definitely bring that out, even though he bothers the crap out of him. Dominator, you couldn't get through to her at all. She has a very set way of thinking about life and how it works. And friendship, kindness, meanness, nothingness is going to change that, So he just had to learn that lesson. Thankfully, he didn't have to hurt her. Just completely depower her.
Again, Avatar. That's what he did. It's like, well, I'm not going to kill you, but you have to stop.
Yeah. Because she literally destroyed every planet in the galaxy.
Yeah, that's all gone.
That's a lot. Yeah, but it's going to come back. That's the hope part.
Yeah.
If we are happy, if we are positive enough and believe, and, things can work themselves out. Life
moves
always
on.
Finds a way. Yeah. So, I mean, Dominator's character is very interesting because they've done a lot of bait and switch with her, like, trying to make you seem like, oh, no, she can be cool, and then we can all be friends, and whatever. But McCracken was always very, like, clear in his social media that Dominator is not a very good person. She doesn't want to be anybody's friend. She's a bad guy, through and through.
She's, like, the only bad guy on the show. Everyone else is just kind of having a silly time.
Yeah, even all the other villains, they're not really, like, legitimately, like, just evil.
It's
none
like
of them are really evil.
It's like she rolled in from a different show.
Yeah, like, it's just so weird, like, because her whole thing is, like, she's better than everybody. Everybody needs to do what she says. Bow down to her. She enjoys causing people pain and misery. She gets a kick out of it. It's funny to her. It's enjoyable.
She's Judge Doom in Toontown.
And she doesn't get anything out of having relationships with people.
No.
Yet she's lonely, obviously.
Yeah, like we do see in that family that, she does have this pain, this damage that does make her the way she is, but she has embraced it too fully to ever come back from it.
Yeah, and to the point where, like, all we know is that she's alone. Why is she alone? She probably made herself alone.
Yeah, because she's inherently sadistic.
She blew up her own planet like Lobo did.
Yeah, and she sabotages her relationships with people that she might like with Sylvia when they were buddies, just to establish her dominance, hence her name, and that's just and sometimes, yeah, everybody can change, but people can't change if they don't want to change.
Yep.
So there's no use in forcing it with somebody like that. It's just kind of like...
Don't waste your time.
They've already decided who they wanted to be.
Yeah.
You can't make them not be that.
That being said, I love her and I want her to punch me.
That's a very clever thing about her, is that her design is so fundamentally appealing in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
It's a very cool design. She exudes a lot of power, both armored and unarmored. Mm-hmm. It's a very authoritative design and posing and animation.
Sexy.
But there's a sex appeal, but she's also just cute.
Yeah. Because she's, so adorably giddy about what she does.
And, she's got the hair and, the little, the dripping makeup under her eyes.
Which I'm gonna try to emulate.
Just cry. Oh, wait, you don't do that.
Not for real, but what hurts the eyes more than anything else is the combination of makeup remover and cigarette smoke.
I can see that.
It's fucking blinding.
Yeah.
It's brutal.
So, doesn't everybody in the universe just have Chucks? Is she wearing Chucks?
She is wearing Chucks.
Yeah, she's totally wearing
Good.
Chucks.
Everyone who is Bashood is wearing Chucks.
Good.
It's Sylvia doesn't wear Chucks if she doesn't have shoes. She doesn't need them.
But, Wander's got his Chucks.
Hater's got his Chucks.
Background character's got his Chucks.
Yeah. And, all kind of following suit of Wilt from Foster's, who had Chucks.
Yeah.
Yeah. And every kid's next door.
That's what's cool about Chucks, is that they're not only, cool shoes, they're easy to draw.
Yeah, they're just, they've become ingrained in my brain to me as just that, that's what shoes look like.
Yeah, they're the most recognizable sneaker.
It's hard to draw, a lot. Yeah, a lot of Nikes, unless you put the swoosh on there, they're not really identifiable.
And you can't, and that's the thing, you can't put the swoosh on there because then you'll get a suit.
Yeah, whereas you don't have to put the star on a Chuck.
Nope.
Just the circle. The circle and then the white in the front. Perfect.
Yep.
So, now that we've hit at the heart of the show, which, it seems very simple, and it is in a way, but it's still very meaningful. It's a good lesson to learn, and it's a good thing to teach kids and adults. Sometimes you just have to, be happy. And...
Or to be positive. That's the episode with the flower.
Yeah.
It's just because I'm sad doesn't mean I've given up hope.
Yeah.
Which is also a very important thing, is that, staying, overall positive doesn't mean that you have to maintain this facade of never being sad, because that'll kill you.
No, you can be sad and still believe that things can get better.
Yeah, but, for right now, you gotta be sad, and that's okay.
Yeah, and it was a very good episode.
You need to do it, because there's things to be sad about.
There's a lot
of things to be sad about. But,
oh, dear. Oh, buddy.
But, it's the thing, it's because you love whatever it is you're sad about, because whatever it is that made you sad, it comes from also, there's a love and a passion on this flip side of it. You're sad because it's something that you care about is hurting or isn't working out, or people aren't happy, or things are horrible, because you're invested, right? Being sad about something just means that you care about something.
Yeah, totally. And it means that a lot of good came from it. Otherwise, you wouldn't be sad that it's gone.
Yeah, exactly.
If you're sad about something, then it probably had a positive impact on your life before the sadness.
Exactly.
And I think that's better than never having either.
Yeah, never being sad. That just means you never cared about anything. Nothing ever made a difference to you. Yeah. And the great thing about Wander is that he cares about everything. Sometimes too much, to a comical extent, but it really is infectious how just ridiculously giving he is.
Yeah, I was in the mindset, and partially it's because of the kind of media I've consumed in the place I'm in my life, is you can't just chop off Dominator's head.
No.
We got to give this a shot. Wander's been trying to do that this whole season and hasn't really gotten his shot. But he's it's clear that that's always been his intention, is not to blow Dominator up, but to make friends with her.
Yeah, because that's what he wants to do with everybody. Hence his his statement, a friend is just a stranger you haven't met yet.
An enemy is a friend you haven't made yet.
An enemy is a friend you haven't made yet. Which, is tested in the final episode because...
yeah, he can't make friends with...
He can't make her his friend. No matter how hard he tries, no matter what he does, no matter how selfless and giving and accepting he is, you can't make someone your friend if they don't want to be your friend. That doesn't necessarily mean they have to be your enemy. That just means that they don't want to be your friend, which is on them, not on you.
Yeah. And I don't know, like maybe if there was another season, like something else, because it's like she definitely didn't, like she just kind of gave up, frustrated, and left. Like she kind of got
like a kid.
Yeah.
Like she was like, "You guys are dumb. I didn't want to take over your galaxy anyway. Whatever."
Yeah, because Wander postulates that due to her loneliness, that like she's blowing up the galaxy, but also like whenever they're in person actually around her, she just kind of toys with them and then like lets them go.
Yeah, she could have killed them, but she never did because she enjoys being around them, even if it comes from sadistic
She likes having somebody to terrorize.
Yeah.
Because that was the thing. She drops into a pretty desperate state of ennui. Is like, there's nothing left to conquer. She wept like Alexander.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, it's like, she can't be a dominator if there's nothing to dominate.
And she's like, I don't want to fucking start over. I don't want to have to move to Portland.
This was my
to continue my career.
This was my magnum opus.
I was too good at my job, and I flooded the economy with me.
It's like that point where like you reach the end of the game, and you're like, yeah, I have all this thing that I did, but then there's nothing else to do, and it's like, well, you could play a new game. And you're like, but I already won this one, and
then it's a JRPG, so you just play it again.
Here's what it was. Like, when you beat Wind Waker, it's like, it was so good, I wish there was more Wind Waker. Like, there kind of is. It was called Phantom Hourglass, which I now realize is a dog shit, idiot statement from a moron. we tried Methadones, like, we tried, like, Twilight Princess. Like, it's okay, it's not the same thing.
No, because she said, like, this galaxy was so special, because how she said it had all these happy little idiots in it that were very unique. They gave her exactly what she wanted, that she can't maybe not get anywhere else. This is the galaxy that Wander takes care of, and it's influenced by his presence, and it's this galaxy of silly little guys with their silly little lives, and it's like precisely the kind of people she wants to crush. It's quite possible if she goes to another galaxy, she could get defeated, because even the villains in this galaxy aren't that ruthless or malicious.
They're a bunch of clownos.
Everybody's a clown. Everybody's a silly boy.
That was the inception of her design. It's like, what if there was a villain who was actually dangerous?
Yeah.
Because Hater and even Awesome, they're pretty boxed in like bumbling villains. They're Bowsers. They're fun, like Bowser is.
Yeah, and
they can do some damage, but they don't have any staying power as villains.
No. This shark man is twerking. What are we gonna do about this?
It's the worst crime he can commit.
It's a pretty bad one.
McCracken said that Emperor Awesome's arms are a different color from his body because he's based off of bootleg Master of the Universe figures.
That's really good, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, he definitely does look like a bootleg something.
Oh boy, oh boy.
And the show very much plays into, our own, what we've put forward as to, what defines this modern era of cartooning, of animation. And that is, a far more positive outlook as both the industry grows and like McCracken. Like, it's not to say that any of his shows were overtly cynical, but none of them were as positive as this. They didn't have such a, a positive heart and message. And like, there was elements of cynicism to the others. Like Blue is an asshole. Yeah, Blue is a bona fide son of a bitch.
And he never got his comeuppance.
He did occasionally.
Barely.
But he never, learned a lesson.
No.
Yeah, he definitely never learned a lesson.
He was basically just like the equivalent of like a shitty little kid. It's like he'd be like grounded in shit.
Yeah. Alternately, he was George Costanza.
That too.
He was selfish, he was a prick, he was remorseless, and he never learned.
Nope. And that was definitely a character that was very popular at that time. And Wander's, and all their characters in this show are so different because, Whereas, like, Hater is kind of similar to that. He is not portrayed in this, like, light of, like, oh, but yeah, but he's blue, like, you just got it. That's just who he is. He's the buddy. He's one of the main characters. Like, nah, Hater's a doof. And we love him because he's a doof. But we all know he's a big doof. And, like, I remember reading a tweet by Lauren Faust where she was like, man, Kylo Ren totally ripped off of Hater. Because it's like, yeah, it's just this whiny guy who thinks he's super cool, but he's not. He's like a little kid. He has this child sensibility of what it means to be a bad guy. And and people are very, very quick to call him out on his stuff, and he's always having a hard time because he makes his life harder for himself.
Yeah, he constantly self-sabotages because of his ego. Again, like Kylo Ren.
Yep. Only more funny.
Yeah.
Though in the final episode, he finally, like, stepped up to the plate and was, like, actually behaved like the person he always says that he is, which was kind of interesting.
He's motivated.
He was. I was just happy for Commander Peepers. Maybe it's because at that moment he wasn't trying to destroy the galaxy or conquer the galaxy. He was trying to save it.
And he said, you know, his justification is, we gotta save it so that I can conquer it.
Yeah, but that was his most, like in control commander at, like, behavior, like, ever. And he wasn't doing it to take over a planet. He was doing it to save the galaxy. So, you know, Wander probably has a point.
If he were to actually conquer the galaxy, he would quickly realize that involves doing politics and shit and just give it back.
Yeah, he'd be like, it's too much work.
A lot of delegation and...
Because Hater's whole thing is he just wants people to like him.
Yeah.
Whereas, like, Dominator doesn't really care if people like her or not.
No.
Whereas Hater definitely does. And being a hero
Hater
really
wants people
works
to think
for him.
he's cool.
And being a hero works for him because everybody thought he was the coolest. Because he was the coolest. Like, Hater's great best villain. He's the best villain because he's bad at being a villain, which makes him the best as just a guy.
Oh, my eyeballs.
Nina, you're Abbott and Costelloing me. Nina and I talked about this briefly. Tooch, have you heard the theory of Hater's origin?
No.
The theory, and McCracken has once reblogged and added a little correction of one element to somebody posting this theory. And he didn't address the theory itself, but I could tell he was kind of pushing them in a direction. And he definitely didn't deny it. That Lord Hater is a mutated astronaut chimp. In the Out of Time episode, whatever it was called, when they're going through the panorama, when they're moving forward and there's all those images in the back, one of those is a chimp in a NASA uniform with its helmet severely cracked, about to break. And the last shot, the storyboard and the animatic stinger from the last episode was a space pod.
An American space pod.
A NASA space pod, giving off the same, green plasmic energy that Hater uses.
And his laugh was laughing. And I was like, what?
Wow.
What?
Yeah, so presumably what happened...
I didn't dwell on that because I knew I wasn't going to get anything about it, so I was like, I don't even want to.
Yeah.
At first I thought it was Dominator's helmet, and then I took a better look. It's like, no, that's a space capsule. Yeah, so this theory is that he was a space chimp that got mutated by space radiation and also caught the space madness like the Fury.
Wow.
But he handled it worse or better, depending on how you think the Fury was doing. For Metal Gear Solid 3, everybody.
I'd say better. He's not just kind of screaming and whipping around everywhere.
And he also isn't dead.
Anyway, so maybe he's a mutated space monkey. That's kind of... I don't know, when Nikki first told me that, I was like, that's a little much. That seemed very like a cartoon conspiracy episode thing, where it's just what if they're all dead?
Yeah, McCracken said that he was not originally skeletal, he was organic.
Okay. And
I don't know if it was McCracken or one of the directors on the show, Dave Thomas, who his Tumblr website is founderofwendys.tumblr.com.
Wow.
So that we haven't dwelt on Hater's origins yet, but they're pretty out there. So I think it's within the realm of possibility that he is Major Tom the chimp. the skeleton.
Mojo the chimp.
If Mojo Jojo got Major Tommed, you get Lord Hater.
Sure. But yeah, we won't. I mean, it's not that important. If we had a third season, maybe we would have figured it out. But at the same time, it doesn't really feel congruous to this kind of show to have, like, super secret origin month or whatever.
Yeah, but, like, here's the other thing is, you know, and I mean, there are different shows, but what my point is that you can be surprised. Like, we would have said that about Adventure Time. And then Holly Jolly Secrets dropped and is one of the best episodes.
That's true.
I guess. I don't know. We'll hey, we'll never know.
Yeah, because there's always the question of, like, who Wander is and where he came from, and
now that I feel like they very deliberately don't want to address because there's something of almost a mystique to him.
What he does is more important than who he is.
Yeah,
like Batman.
God,
no, they say that, but
yeah,
they keep making him Bruce Wayne. They never stop.
Yeah, exactly. They did say that he's not from this galaxy.
Yeah.
And the implication is that fanficky ass origin story of him from The Hero, it had a little bit of truth to it.
Yeah, that there was other Wander people out there.
Yeah.
And then there was the bit from, what was it, the cave?
Yeah. With the many Wanders.
With the many Wanders, and, like, what was it exactly? It was a part of him was missing, and it was like it was the part of him that needed help, which is what fueled him to help other people. He helped others because he had been the person who needed help before, is what I understood.
Yeah. And, like, going and, like, showing that point in his life, that's not what this show is.
Yeah.
I don't think. Like, that's a kind of level of tragedy that the show's not for. It's not what it does.
No.
But I think, like, with Hater, it's different, because I feel like adding, you know, if your backstory can add a level of tragedy and sympathy to your villain, that's usually worth it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, Holly Jolly Secrets has allowed them to do so much with Ice King. By making, like nobody gets mad at the Ice King anymore.
No.
Everybody's just, like, either ignoring him or trying to help him, but there's, you know, nobody's like, we gotta go, hey, let's just go beat up the Ice King for fun. And before Holly Jolly Secrets, they would have.
Yeah.
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 Pretty much.
Let's just go.
I don't know if I can watch those episodes anymore.
Yeah, like that episode in season 1 where Princess Bubblegum detains him without reading him his Miranda rights. That's What Have You Done? Where, like, she needs him to cry to save the people, but like she was definitely detaining him, not illegally because she's the supreme ruler, but unethically.
Yeah.
What else happened in the Let's just talk about one of the fun episodes. They're like, again, where they're just trying to find a way to defeat Dominator. Mm-hmm. They come across Robo-Mecha Botatron.
Oh, Tooch.
Oh, I almost forgot. Hoji Whiz.
How could you?
It was honestly, like, I had two main things I enjoyed. One, the fact that it is not a combiner, but all its limbs are different colors for no reason.
Yeah, and it needs to be piloted separately for some reason.
For each limb. I think there's a while ago I saw a Kickstarter about some game that was a multiplayer game where you each controlled a limb of a giant robot, and it looked stupid and fun, so I hope that game got made. And 2, the entire just cock tease. The entire premise of the episode of like, and I hate how long it took me to realize it because I was too into it. I was like, I was like 2/3 of the way through that episode and then went, oh wait, the goof is that they're not ever gonna, oh.
Yeah, before that you were like, I'm so excited to watch these robots fight.
Yeah, and it's like, yeah, because that's what Dominator wanted. She was like, I want a robot battle! I want a robot battle!
And then she became more my wife.
I really appreciate that we watched this after doing Voltron.
Yeah, right?
And, like, I love how they just kind of threw out the whole teamwork thing because it just wasn't working. Like, even Wander by the end was just like, no! Like, he was the one who was like, we need to work together! And then at the end, he's like, well, you guys can do what you want, but I'm not helping. And it's like, Wander, you just said that we need teamwork to make it, okay, what? And then they destroyed it, the legendary super robot that could save the universe. It was pretty great. Her mech was awesome, too.
Yes!
With those like, heels.
Yeah!
Yeah, the fact that both robots were very feminine was cool. Without them being like sexy robots.
I don't know. Hers was kind of leaning towards sexy robot a little bit, but not too sexy.
I don't know how feminine Robot Mechabotatron was. I think maybe it was just those Voltron lips. OG Voltron had really pouty lips.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Because it looked like
Google like Go Lion. You'll get a very kissable robot.
Why didn't you mention this in our Voltron episode?
I thought it was just known. I thought that was common knowledge. I didn't have to cite.
He was a kissy boy. Yeah, you're right. He is a kissy boy.
Because I remember in the interview for the new show, they were like, "Yeah, we tried implementing the lips in our designs. It just really didn't work."
Yeah, why would you give a robot like human lips?
I don't know, man.
Does it open its mouth to talk?
No, it doesn't talk. It's not. It's mostly unsentient. It's mostly unconscious.
Okay. But anyway, that episode was very fun. Anyway.
It was fun to see like a Voltron work with only some of the limbs working, like doing a big like a Big Ed flop arm run.
Yeah.
Oh man.
And then the episode before it, where Wander became God
of the Pikmin.
God of the Pikmin.
He found this little Pikmin planet inside the great all-powerful neckbeard wizard's magic shop, and doesn't realize. Well, what was the moral of that one? It was like, it's
you can't.
The more you know, the more you grow.
Yeah. The more you know, the more you grow. Like you can't keep the truth from people because you're afraid it'll hurt them, because then you're just hurting them.
Yeah, it did kind of hurt them a little, but they figured it out.
Yeah. Well, I mean, mostly it like nothing good comes from ignorance.
That's true. Not really, no.
Yeah. I really loved that episode. That was like just for the end, that ending shot, like that was beautiful.
Yeah,
I choked
flowing,
up.
Flowing through the stars and just be like, oh, they're floating around.
Because it's like, I mean, this is not true for Wander's galaxy, but in real life space, I mean, they'll be fine. The odds of them running into anything in the vast empty void are 1 in a trillion.
Yeah, I mean.
Meanwhile, in Wander Over Yonder, you can fucking piss on the next planet.
Right. Well, I mean, they just need to. I don't know if they'll be like floating forever, or if they'll like get caught in something's gravitational pull, or whatever.
Become a moon.
Hopefully, they just get to float on.
I would
forever.
love to live on a planet where they're my moon. That sounds like a good moon. You get a telescope and you're like, how are the moon Pikmin doing today?
Like la 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 la.
Oh, they're doing great.
Red versus blue to the death. Who's the best statue? Oh, man. And Neckbeard was fun.
I still want the red and blue Pikmin to, like, fight, but, like, in fun, like, double dare physical challenge type ways.
Okay, yeah. Well, here's the thing about physical challenges is that, like, okay, swim against here. Oh, we can't do that. But they can. Whereas the Reds are like, yeah, we'll just hang out on a volcano. Yeah. We'll hang out in this flame geyser and, like, we'll be fine.
There was also the sick day, which I thought was really, really funny.
It was so funny, but like the sicker Wander got, the more I'm like, stop.
I know, I just like slowly. You just saw his body just slowly decompose.
He turned into Brundlefly.
Like,
he had a full body fungal infection.
Yeah, it's like.
I don't know who Brundlefly is, but I can assume you meant Jeff Goldblum from The Fly, because, he turned into that.
Yep.
I liked how delirious he was about it, because sometimes when people are really sick, they are like that. Like, especially you got, like, a really crazy fever, and you're just kind of like, no, I have to go to the store.
I'm fine.
Oh, that is what Brundlefly is. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not looking up any more pictures of that.
Nope.
I loved Sick Wander was crazy. Heebie-jeebies. What the fuck?
Yeah, that was basically a creepypasta.
Yeah, I love how his baby's first jump scare.
Yeah.
Baby's first creepypasta, where it's like, the face is not that scary.
No.
It's really just the context in which it's
But it's
put
literally
that makes it
like,
scary.
If you were to take that mime and describe it on paper in, like, horror story prose wording, every fucking creepypasta I've ever read.
Here's the thing. What that face was is that face was Fawful from Mario and Luigi.
I mean, I don't know if Mario and Luigi, like, cornered the market on big toothy grin dudes. But, like, yeah, it was just like a clown guy, and he was just there in the forest for some reason.
Dancing. He was getting down. And
he didn't do anything other than just exist.
Just do, like, a golden age, like, Flesher dance.
Yeah.
Tooch, if you're not familiar with who Fawful is, I put a picture of him in the chat.
That link does not work. It's 1,000,000 miles long.
I deleted that one and did a good one.
Okay. Oh, okay, yeah. I see that. Yeah, that's a smiley boy.
And that was the episode where I was like, man, I missed how much they pushed these characters' facial expressions.
That episode was out of control.
Wander's face was just out of control all the time. You know, with his screaming and his scared faces. Like, whoever did the character designs for each individual expression was like, that's like, well, how many drawings? A lot? I don't know.
And here's the thing, that episode, like most of these episodes, was storyboarded by one person.
Oh, man.
Yikes, that's amazing.
Now, the thing that was it's a script-driven show, so...
Yeah.
You know, it's not like...
So you got it, I mean, still, like specifically with the expressions, that's all up to the artist.
Yeah,
exactly.
But the storyboarders don't have to, like, write the actual script.
Yeah.
I love the bit where Sylvia's like, would you just stop? Would you just stop? And they stop moving, and she's like, that's worse. Because they were completely still. And like, the fact they were just going whole hog and being so hammy about the jump scare with, like, the what sound effect.
Yeah.
Like, just constantly, to the point where, like, it's not scary anymore.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. It was really funny and cute.
I like that the mime was big. Like, that mime was jacked.
He was a big jacked mime. And it's like, why a mime?
That mime looks like he leapt out of Russell the Drummer's head from Gorillaz. He looks like Del the Funky Ghost.
Of all the spooky things that could be in a spooky forest, why just, like, a random mime ghost guy?
Because,
it's clown imagery works.
It's a universal constant. Clowns are a spoopy.
But here's the thing about clowns, and this is what the It remake missed the point of. You don't make a scary clown, just make a clown.
Yeah.
And then which is what this did. Like, he's got a scary face, but he's not, like, got, like, blood all over his fucking face and his eyeballs popping out or whatever.
So Pennywise did, like, transform into monsters. Like, he got the scary teeth sometimes, but, like, yeah, so I don't know.
But he didn't look like fucking Violent J. He looked like a clown. And then his teeth got... So, you have to start with someplace innocent so you can make it scary.
Right. Yeah. And then the one before that, Captain Tim.
Captain Tim.
I love how much Lord Hater loves that abomination. He loves Captain Tim so much. Like, how can he be a bad person when he loves Captain Tim that much?
And I loved Jennifer Hale as Emily Ripov.
Yeah, she was great. She was quite fun. I love their, like, the injuries I've suffered contest.
Yeah, that was the Jaws scene. I loved it.
Captain Tim gives me love bites. His, like, spine, his rib cage is all melted and ugh. And then the other two from this bundle, which was the last bundle that we haven't, like, recapped. All the other episodes of the season we have recapped in previous episodes of our show, was the Hot Shot and the Night Out.
Yeah.
Which, the Hot Shot was a pretty simple Wander episode. Nothing too fancy, nothing too out there. But the Night Out was very interesting because, you know, it was one of those episodes that framed itself like, yeah, we're gonna get a better insight into Dominator and, like, you know, maybe she can change. But it's like, we definitely got a better insight into Dominator, but all it said was that that's just the kind of person that she is.
I did really like that episode, though.
Oh, me too.
It was the last one for the series that Noelle Stevenson wrote.
It was very touching because, you know, they were buddies. And, like, it was hard because she was happy being friends with Sylvia, whatever that meant. However she understands that to mean, which we learned wasn't what it actually means. And that she was honestly kind of hurt that once she took it her step farther that Sylvia wasn't gonna go there, and she didn't understand why not. She just really didn't seem to understand the nature of their relationship.
I mean, she's got a pretty perverse idea of what friendship is supposed to be.
Yeah, like, you're my friend, you're supposed to do whatever I say. And
yeah.
Sylvia was like, no, that's not what friends do. Friends help each other, but they don't just... They're not mindless. They're still people.
She's like, what? That doesn't sound right. Who told you that?
Her outfit was so cool, though.
Yeah.
Man,
God.
it was so
cool. Looking great.
Dude. Oh, boy.
I have types. Not a type. There's several, but I've got them.
Yeah.
Apparently, on the title shot for The End of the Galaxy, where it shows all of the refugees, Blue is up in there. Trying to find him.
Yeah, he's getting stepped on.
Where is he?
Good.
Point it.
Oh, no, that's a flipper.
That's a weird flipper.
Oh, there he is.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
You guys find him yourself.
Yeah, I mean, they're all characters from, like, all the previous episodes. The toddler... Who was having a nightmare that involved the toddler?
I don't remember. Like the goat man, the sad pigs, the girl who told the fanficky story about Wander.
Oh, yeah.
All those kids are there.
The princess,
the dragon.
The Yellow Submarine dudes.
Yeah. The whole gang. The gang's all here.
Everybody's here. What a colorful cast of characters. What a bunch of striking silhouettes they cast.
And they're all ready for murder.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, she's killed a lot of people, probably. She's had to. They did.
She's had to, but this is the most goof 'em up cartoon world that I've seen in 2016. Most other shows are totally fine with being like, oh yeah, no, some people are dead now. But, like, this show is way too classic. They're like, oh no, like, we've had to escape our planets, all of us.
Yeah.
Which is I'm fine with that.
That's
on brand.
I'm totally fine with it, because that's what the show, that's the tone the show wants to have.
Because you can't have you can't have Wander trying to redeem a murderer.
Yeah.
No, definitely not. And then all those wacky hijinks he's doing instead of, like, stopping her would seem very irresponsible.
Yeah.
If people were actually dying. And it's like, nah, that's not that kind of show that this is. This is a fun time.
We're gonna have some silly laughs and chuckles. It's fine. The second she left, all the planets grew flowers.
It's beautiful.
Look
Hope
at this.
will prevail. Sometimes a smile and a little kindness can save the galaxy. Also, having cool lightning powers helps, too.
Yeah.
I loved how in love Mr. Peepers was. Or Commander Peepers was with Hater at that point.
Please, Mr. Peepers is my father's name.
If this show were to get nominated for an Emmy or an Annie, what do you think would be its best shot? Do you think My Fair Haiti?
Yeah.
Maybe.
The thing about My Fair Haiti is that because it's a 22-minute, it'd actually fall in a separate category than, say, The Flower or something.
Oh, yeah.
Now, The Breakfast did win an Annie.
The Breakfast was awesome.
The Breakfast was sick.
Like most breakfasts.
And then Gift to the Giftening was nominated for an Emmy.
The Bot.
Oh, the bot.
Oh, shit.
Oh, the bot.
Fuck every other episode.
Yeah.
We're forgetting all the robots. What is wrong? Can I get on this?
On that note, do you want to move on to Steven, or?
Yeah. I don't have too much else to say about the show. Not because I don't like it. It's just, it's very simple, and that's what makes it what it is, and that's why it's good. Because
it's amazing.
It's amazing, and the animation was... That's what I'm going to miss the most, to be perfectly honest. I'm going to miss the characters, and I'm going to miss that kind of movement that they have where they're
nobody in the biz anymore. Nobody in the biz animates like Craig McCracken, and they were amazing, so fluid and bouncy and stretchy and squishy, and like the facial expression. Hater this season, Haters had even in the Captain Tim episode, that face he was making. Yep.
While he was looking out the window, crying.
Or like every time, when he was in the web, every time Wall busted out, he's like, Captain Tim?
Captain Tim?
The big goofy smile he had.
Like,
and everybody's character designs complemented their animation styles. Everybody was all so flowy and noodly.
And everything like fit together, and I'm really gonna miss that. It really stands above and beyond anything else that I've seen currently airing right now.
It looks like as good of a time as it is.
Yeah, it really does. And I mean, it's a shame, but I'm glad it got to finish its story that it started in a way. Because of the kind of tale that it is, it's not like it was cut off before it got to, complete the epic narrative.
Again, it's not Gravity Falls, but it got to complete its arc. We found that he was able to save the galaxy from Lord Dominator.
Yeah. A third season would have been great, but I'm happy that we had this show at all. I hope it does continue to do well on reruns. I hope the kids still watch it and have fun.
It's asking for a lot, but I would love like some DVD releases or something.
That would be really
I
nice.
think at least the first season's on Hulu.
No, I couldn't find Wanderer on Hulu.
That's weird because all the other Disney stuff is on there.
I know. I was like, oh, you're right. I can catch up on Wanderer over like Yonder by going on Hulu. And then I went and it wasn't there, and I was like, what?
Whoops. Oh well, maybe something. I mean, also maybe some comic books. I don't know.
Comic books could be fun. A kid's book would be really cute and in line with the show.
Yeah, a little Wanderer Golden book.
Yeah, that would be so cute.
If Star Wars Episode 3 Revenge of the Sith can get a golden book, let me tell you, they had to cut a lot of that movie out of it.
What was left?
I mean, to be fair, it's a little golden book, so it's only like 10 pages anyway, but like it was laughable.
Where did you find that?
A comic book shop.
Oh, man.
Yeah, I almost bought it, but like I don't have money for that shit.
I can only buy so many things as a goof.
Yeah.
That's true.
I actually did a super cool comic purchase recently. I'll talk about it to you guys later. Yeah. That's not true.
And I almost bought some Street Fighter stuff as a goof, and I'm like, I can't. Viz Media released a Kami manga back in '98.
Oh shit!
I wanted it, but
no.
So that was Wander.
That was Wander. Goodbye, Wander. Keep wandering the galaxy in our hearts. There's that fan-made episode that a little kid made. That's on YouTube. That you could find if you want more, I guess.
God, I still remember when Wander was just a bunch of like drawings that Craig posted on his short-lived DeviantArt.
Me too.
It's amazing to see how far it's come.
Yeah, and it was such a positive little shining star.
That's someone idea. Like, I saw somebody come up with an idea, and then a few years later they got a show, and now the show's over, and I'm like, that's such a good, nice thing.
Yeah. Well, hopefully Craig will. I mean, I'm sure he has other things.
Oh, he always
in the
a
pipeline,
man like that always,
and other stuff he can work on. Hopefully, people will like his ideas and give him money to do them.
And hopefully, whoever gives him the money doesn't end up just choosing to stop. I'll be interested to see what format he takes. It's, maybe he'll stick with TV because he's been doing it for most of my entire life. But
yeah,
maybe he'll probably stay on. He'll probably stay on TV, especially with all the luck his lady's been having with frickin' Hollywood.
God, yeah. Somebody needs to give her a job too. For Christ's sake.
Well, what I was talking is about maybe he would branch into new media, but like who knows?
For animation, that's hard.
That's hard.